Welcome to another edition of Economic Forum, where we discuss various issues affecting our economy. The festive season is a time of happiness, it's a time of spending, it's a time of family reunion. But thereafter, maybe a week into the new year, we often hear of the January disease. So which means that we could have overspent over the festive season. So today we want to discuss about how to manage the festive season. And that is from the experience of my guest, who is Elizabeth Magaya, an entrepreneur, a motivational speaker, a mother, an aunt, and several things. Elizabeth, welcome to Economic Forum.
Thank you so much, John.
Yes. This tradition of the festive season, which is largely celebrated by the Christians, but also involves other religions in terms of festivities, being a long holiday and so forth, has been going on for many years. Do you feel that it has been the same over the years, or there have been changes from your experience?
Well, from my experience and what I've noticed, there have been some changes. In a way that it was first celebrated by the Christians. And I think people got carried away on their spending practices on those days, forgetting that there are days to come and their needs to be covered on, and they overlook their income throughout the year so that they can carry forward to the next year.
So should festive holidays be planned for, Elizabeth?
Oh yes, definitely, because planning is an ongoing exercise throughout the year. You don't plan for something, especially when it affects your income, for something you want to go to do next year. You plan from the beginning of the year. Like for whatever we are going to spend, it could have been planned from January. You walk the path, monitoring your income so that you now do your budget. I think we'll get into that. So you don't plan for this festive season and act on it if you have not planned already.
There's also the issue of bonus, which normally comes as a 13th check around the month of November. That also excites a lot of people. I'm sure it's going to get into the planning that you're talking about. But I asked about whether it has been the same over the years. Do you think pandemics like COVID-19 affected how the festive period is celebrated?
Oh yes, definitely. Definitely. And talking on the 13th check, the bonus, it's not much. Considering if you do your budget, maybe for an example, you have got $100. You want to budget on that $100, and your bonus is $50. It exceeds what you get. So it won't be enough. And as for the COVID, definitely, we needed to change our living patterns and cushion for that, because it's something which comes without a warning. And now I've noticed that it swiped many families, and then we are forced to now be given to look into extended families, which we had not budgeted for, which we had not planned for. We are human. We need to cater for those which were left behind. So I think that's why I said we need to change our spending patterns. The COVID pandemic, definitely it is affected, and it's coming. We don't know what is scaring and what will happen next. So we should be very careful.
Now let's look at the planning. What are the things that families or individuals should consider when planning for the year, especially the festive period?
Okay, before we get to the budget, planning, first and foremost, know your income. Because we have different incomes. Know your background. Know your extended families. And then you plan from there. And then before you do anything on your income on planning, you have a plan first for your saving. Suppose you are earning $500, John. So take $100 from the first month, say January, you put it aside. And then you budget on $400. Whatever you budget, say for grocery, if you are buying grocery for $50, put it at $70. Why? Anticipating that their price increase. If there is no price increase for that month, take that $20 and put it back to the saving. Don't overspend it. So plan everything according to your means. Then by the end, when you get to December, you've got a saving put aside. And that saving, mind you, is not within the budget. Your travel expenses, for what? Everything you need, prioritize what is needed first and what is always there, like rentals, bills, they're always there every time. And then monitor your grocery, because people get carried away on groceries. And don't make a point of going to shops now and again. Plan when you want to go. If it's weekly, once a month, a fortnight, you do that. But have your savings for the rainy days every month.
Generally, as Zimbabweans, are we disciplined when it comes to issues of planning, issues of budgeting, not only for the sake of the festive season? Is it something that you are concerned about, that we should improve?
Oh yes, very much so. I am very much concerned. I won't say we are not, I won't say we are. Was definitely, I don't know each and everyone in this country. But from my research, most people will get carried away. We don't plan. And we forget that to live is by the grace of God. We don't know what tomorrow carries for us. And we at times we get fooled with friends and peer pressure, and we are different. Say for you, maybe you don't have now school-going kids. We call it your me time. The way you spend and the way somebody who's got still going school-going children is different. But when you go out there, you spend the same. And then it's a trend that people tend to forget their lifestyles and their income. They get carried away and they live a cosmetic life.
Elizabeth, you know different worlds, the rural world as well as the urban world.
Definitely.
From your observation, do you think that the patterns for the festive season are the same?
No, they've changed. Of late, people would know that the people in the towns, they would provide those people in the rural areas for Christmas, clothes, food, and everything. And they will be waiting eagerly to be sponsored from those people. And now, those people who used to sponsor people, they cannot make ends meet on their own budgets, on their own income. So the people they have realized that that's why now they go into farming. They are more into farming so that they cushion themselves. The best thing anyone in town is to liaise with those in the rural areas, what their needs, especially fertilizers, the needs for their plowing season. That's the best what they ever can give. Say if they give them a little for that day only, because they know that if they cushion that, the next day they'll survive without bothering these ones in town.
Okay, that's Elizabeth Magaya, an entrepreneur as well as a motivational speaker, who is sharing her thoughts about how to manage the festive season. The program is the Economic Forum, and you can also watch different editions on our YouTube channel, which is Economic Forum Zimbabwe. Join us in the second segment. Welcome to the second segment of Economic Forum, where today we are discussing how to manage the festive period, where we enjoy, where we reunite with families, where we also receive those from the diaspora, and also when we go to the rural areas to be merry with our family. And we've invited Elizabeth Magaya, an entrepreneur, as well as a motivational speaker, to share her thoughts and her experience in that regard. You just talked about the importance of planning, Elizabeth, and you had mentioned also some aspects of budgeting. If you could just finish off on the budgeting so that we proceed.
Thank you. There's a thin line between planning and budgeting. You cannot budget something which you have not planned. So you need to plan first, then the budget follows. And you set goals within the planning period. Then now the budget, it's like you are following steps of what you have planned. Suppose you want to pay rent, you've budgeted for rent, and it's on your plan. So you follow it systematically. What comes first, what should come second. So if your budget at one point is not enough from your income, so review your budget. What can I remove? What is not necessary? You should know things which are a necessity and which are not a necessity. don't ever borrow because your budget has failed for no unnecessary reasons.
And activities. We should also plan for activities, if you can just go into that. What are we doing this coming Christmas or this coming festive season? Are we visiting Auntie Elizabeth? Are we visiting Uncle John, who live the other side of town, or who live in the rural areas and so forth? What are we doing? Are those the things that you're also putting into consideration as you plan and as you budget? Because there's traveling there. You know, we grew up, our generation, in that era where after closing schools, you take a train and you visit your grandma, probably from the maternal side 1 year, and then from the paternal side, and so forth. So just take us through the activities like traveling and other things that normally go with this budget.
Thank you. I go back to my major point of planning. We knew Christmas was coming. We knew the festive season was coming. We knew we were going to travel. This could have been planned in the first month, January. That this year maybe we want to do A, B, C, D. So you start budgeting on those trips. And remember, even if it's holiday, festive season tends to hike prices. The traders, the retailers, the hotels, they capitalize on that. So if there are other travels you can do during the year, say I want to go to Inyanga just to give a treat for my family, let me do it during the year, because Inyanga is Inyanga.
Maybe not as exciting as during the festive season.
When it comes to the word exciting, you excite yourself.
Okay. Yeah, that's for another day.
That's for another day.
Yes.
So you plan and leave those which can come unknowingly. Those trips which you cannot budget for. There's a funeral, there's suppose there's an illness in the family at times, but now still it's planned, it's catered in the first planning for your savings. You now go back and say, okay, there's now a funeral. Can I go into my savings? So you don't strain yourself. So everything should be planned. We don't plan when we are now in the festive season.
Mm-hmm. Now, the resultant challenge, maybe I don't want to call it problem, is the January disease. What advice can you give the viewers from your own experience of avoiding that which has come traditional, the January disease? We heard of the January disease so long ago, and it's still there.
Yes, it's still there. And
yes.
It's even worse because of the failure. That's why I said my major focus topic is planning. It's failure of planning. And we should know that things are changing. Prices are going up. And at times, companies are failing to cushion their employees because of course they've got their own problems. So we should always work. Okay, you had not planned for that, and maybe you are hearing it for the first time, and that you are in fear because people will hear this. And that what do I do? Start budget today, and start cancelling. Even if it's a family, you sit down with your family. I think we had said, from what I've heard of now, I know, I think we need to cancel ABC to cancel, and then start planning it for January. Then maybe we can do it next year. If there's no harm in cancelling, you sit down with your family, be transparent and why you are doing it, so that you don't get caught up in January.
The January disease has saddened you, from friends, relatives that don't plan. What are some of the experiences that you've seen that should not be repeated because of lack of planning when it comes to the January disease?
Well, don't plan first, but don't borrow. Because, we can choose to say, okay, from now our budget, it's $100. It won't take us to month end. Mm-hmm. We'll have black tea.
But yet you want to pay school fees, you want to buy uniforms and so forth.
Well, if you had failed for that, maybe you can get a soft loan. But when you are getting a soft loan, be careful where you get that loan. Go to your bank. Don't go to money launderers. Their interests are so high. And now, on that point again, that area have left many people compromising their integrity. Because I come to you, John, I lie to you so that I get money. And then I'll go and borrow the gems to pay you. It's a vicious circle now. I'll never make it in life. So if I have failed, I have to sit down and start working on my budget, remove a lot of things. And then if I borrow, say to the bank, now they're inviting, we give you school fees, you give you, just take and then start planning to work to pay that immediately, so that you start planning without any load on yourself.
Elizabeth Magaya with very interesting tips about how to manage the festive season. She is talking to us here as an entrepreneur. She's also talking to us as a mother, as an aunt, as several things through her life experience. So if you'd like to watch some of these programs in case you missed them, you should do so on our YouTube channel. Go to Economic Forum Zimbabwe. But again, if you'd like to get in touch with us about some of the programs, future programs and so forth, you can do so on the numbers that are showing on your screen. So join us in the third and final segment today with Elizabeth Magaya. Welcome to the third and final segment of Economic Forum, where today we are discussing how to manage the festive period with Elizabeth Magaya, who is an entrepreneur as well as a motivational speaker. Elizabeth has been giving us a lot of tips. These are coming from her own life experience and what she has also seen others doing or falling into some traps which she wouldn't want everyone to fall into. So we thank Elizabeth for coming along. But now you mentioned something about the business community, prices being hiked and so forth, and people having to be aware of that. Is there anything as a word of advice that you want to give to the business community?
Oh yes, thank you. Also, planning is not left out, even in business. You plan what you want to do, how you want to invest, and how you want to grow your business, and how you want to pay your employees. It also should be budgeted for and planned for. And remember, all businesses are different. When I say different, the percentage of profit is different. That's where the catch is. Maybe your business has got a 100% profit. So your pattern of spending is different. My business maybe is a 10-20% profit. My pattern of spending is different. So this is very, very important to business people. Know your profit margin. That will guide you in your planning. And know your peak months and your low months. Your low months should not be an excuse in everything what you do.
So this will make you not to to hike prices unnecessarily in order to make a profit because you yourself did not plan for
Remember,
business.
John, if you hike prices, you are chasing away customers. Okay. So you should
but
also
maybe they have no choice if they want to buy 30 loaves of bread for Christmas.
You're not the only one selling bread. Okay. Remember that.
Right.
So you should know that. And also, we have got workers, employees. It's so sad at this time of the year. You hear that people saying, I was not paid. You start having conference, I mean meetings with workers. You see, there was this COVID, there was this, I'm unable to pay you even bonuses, and you forget you are destroying those souls and their families. You could have planned. You knew this time was coming. And in business, there are a lot of things we need to plan for, cushioning ourselves in anticipating for the bad days. Mm-hmm. So, because we need to appreciate and pay these people their bonuses and everything. No matter what bad they've done, they've got their own weaknesses, but we should do that because the service they've rendered to you to be where you are is because of those people. So this is the time they should be rewarded and they're appreciated, so that when they come next time, they'll be motivated and be changed people. So that's not be an excuse.
There's a new phenomenon nowadays of the diasporans. In the past, we talked about us, taking a train or a bus, visiting our grannies and our grandpas in the rural areas. But today, you have your sons and daughters and so forth flying in from UK, from Dubai and so forth. What is your advice for those in the diasporas and us welcoming them? Should we look forward to them 100% or should we meet halfway when they come over?
Well, that one is so sad again, because also diasporas, remember, they are workers where they are. and they should also plan. The diasporans should plan when they are coming in, where they are going to stay. Are they going to stay with relatives? Are going to stay with parents? Are they going to stay in hotels or flats? They should plan for that. They are traveling. Are they going to hire a car? Are they going to be given a car? So that they should plan for that. And also, the people who are being visited, be it my children, be it relatives, we should not put pressure on them. There's a tendency that when they come, we let them do everything, and they have no choice. And then when they go, they are so stressed, and they use their credit cards, and they overborrow, and then when they go back, they start looking for shifts, borrowing. They have no peace, those people, I tell you. We are putting pressure on them. We should assist them.
Very briefly, how about caring for others who cannot afford, who don't have the means during the festive season?
That's given. Biblically, it's given. We should now know your community, where you are. Try to do something to put a smile. If you're with the old people, even, there are so many organizations, they call for that. Even in churches, this is the time to give. We've got our elders. Have a stretching hand. Even in your community and business, think, who am I helping? You should do that. It's biblical.
Right, just to finish off, Elizabeth, I'm holding a picture here. 53 years ago, you and I were classmates. And that is the last time you went to school. And today you are advising people. You are speaking good English. You are so knowledgeable. I can see you here. You didn't even have a school uniform. You didn't even have shoes. And you couldn't continue with your school for various reasons. But you managed to catch up. Very briefly, how did you get here, Elizabeth Magaya, NE Major?
This was in 1969. Well, in life you should know what you want and fight for what you want. I knew what you wanted in my life. I knew this is what. I was very brilliant, and remember that in class, very intelligent. But that didn't work for my life. So that intelligent, I used it and I still use it. So I focused on my hands and my mind. Because what is in my mind is only me. It now draws a vision. So I had a vision of what I want for my children, for myself. I started working hard with my hands.
Over and above that, you managed to do your O-levels, you managed to go to university, and you did quite a number of courses. And today, you are speaking to educated people, you are motivating others, just like you did on Economic Forum. Thank you very much for coming to the program, Elizabeth Magaya.
You're most welcome, John.
Yes.
Thank you so much for inviting me here.
That's Elizabeth Magaya, an entrepreneur as well as a motivational speaker who came to Economic Forum in order to tell us or to give us some of the tips that she has used in her own life in order to manage the festive period. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can do so on the numbers that are showing on your screen. And you can also watch some of our previous editions on our YouTube channel, which is Economic Forum Zimbabwe. So from Elizabeth Magaya and myself, John Masugu, and the production crew, let's meet again on Economic Forum next time.